This is the OTB Network.
Hello and welcome to Horses and Courses, the Breeders' Cup edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We've had a great weekend's worth of racing. Of course, the Breeders' Cup just completed and some terrific action on the racetrack. Some disappointments and obviously, some unfortunate incidents, but all in all, terrific weekend of exciting racing. We are going to start things off, however, in California with a pair of juvenile stakes at Hollywood Park. We'll head back to Saturday and the running of the Real Quiet at 1 1/16. We'll join the Real Quiet in progress.
Comma to the top, to the half-mile pole, 3/4 of a length. In front of Dime in second. Jake Sam looms large in third. He's in perfect striking position. No excuses for Jake Sam from that position. Celestic Knight moves through inside of him. Clarence is hard-ridden and he moves up. Celestic Knight just ran right by Jake Sam, and Celestic Knight is looming large. He is around the far turn and up into second. Jake Sam's going up and down. He's fifth. Prayer for Relief is next, then Wealthy Aviator, and the trailer is Divine Child, and the leader is Comma to the Top, and he is running away with the Real Quiet Stakes. Comma to the Top has opened up a monster lead. Prayer for Relief has run into second, but he is 8 lengths behind Comma to the Top, who is just absolutely running them off their feet. Clarence and Divine Child, but Comma to the Top and Corey Nakatani crush the Real Quiet. Fast early, fast late, it adds up to a 6-length win in the 5th Real Quiet Stakes. Prayer for Relief second, Clarence third, and Divine Child finished 4th.
Comma to the Top picks up the victory at about 4-1, opening clear by about 6 1/4 lengths after having tussled early for the lead. He was able to draw clear by the top of the stretch. This is a Northern California-based horse who had been up the track when facing Graded Stakes Company in Southern California and the Best Pal in the Del Mar Futurity. Since the Del Mar race, he had headed up to Northern California to pick up 2 in a row, both at Golden Gate. He scores over Prayer for Relief with Clarence back in third. Comma to the Top is a bay gelding, a son of Buona Charlie from Maggie's Storm by Stormy Atlantic. Bred in Florida by Richard Thompson and Linda Thompson, owned by Gary Barber, Roger Birnbaum, and Kevin Chuhara. Trained by Peter Miller and ridden to victory by Corey Nakatani, Comma to the Top covers the 1 1/16 and 143.56. Next up, it's 2-year-old fillies at 1 1/16 and Sunday's running of the Sharp Cat.
Mayday Rose past the half-mile pole. She's 1 1/4 in front of Big Tiz in second. Wall Streeter stays at the rail in third. Teddy's Promise going to be 3 wide, but she's only 2.5 off the lead. Those 4 have pretty much had it to themselves so far. Darling Sienna is 5th. She's now only about 10 from the lead, and Darling Sienna is closing in a bit, as is True Way of Grace, and Mayday Rose and Big Tiz are getting away at the top of the stretch, and Mayday Rose is 2.5 lengths in front. Darling Sienna just took over third. She's in the green cap, still 6 behind, but she could be heard from late. Mayday Rose looks like Darling Sienna's her only danger. Mayday Rose to the final furlong, and she has a 5-length lead in the Sharp Cat Stakes. Darling Sienna running up outside of Big Tiz. Even True Way of Grace is running on, but they're all running for second as Mayday Rose has run them right off their feet. Mayday Rose. Mayday Rose won by 4 in the 5th Sharp Cat Stakes. True Way of Grace came from last to be second, Big Tiz third, and Darling Sienna finished 4th.
Mayday Rose, another nice victory on the front end for a juvenile, opening clear by 4.5 over the late-moving True Way of Grace, with the favored Big Tiz back in the 3rd spot after a chasing trip. Mayday Rose is a 2-year-old bay daughter of Rockport Harbor from Mayday Bluff by Pine Bluff. Bred in Florida by Bridlewood Farm and owned by Kaleem Shah, trained by Bob Baffert, and ridden to victory by Martine Garcia. Mayday Rose is now 2 for 3 lifetime, having won a maiden special weight last time with a close second in her prior start in her debut. Very sharp-looking young filly who is obviously handling the stretch out well. Mayday Rose covers the 1 1/16 and 144.39. We'll head back home to New York now for a trio of races on Saturday afternoon. We'll kick things off with 2-year-old fillies in the Tempted.
They're in the gate. And they're off. And Tap for Luck breaks in stride, fires right off the mark. Dixie City there on the outside, and here's Full Moon Blues. And over on the rail, doing great in the early trailer is going to be Pinch Pie. Moving up the backstretch, Full Moon Blues is now the leader, and Tap for Luck, David Cohen, backs off and defers early on here to Full Moon Blues. Doing great, tugs away, and a little bit tight there is Doing Great. And then it's Dixie City who settles down only about 2.5 lengths from the lead with Pinch Pie to her inside. Up the backstretch, sensible opening quarter mile of 24 flat for Full Moon Blues. Doing Great, sitting chilly while second now. Pinch Pie edges up on the fence to be third. Tap for Luck, up close earlier, is now settled back in fourth place. And the trailer is Dixie City, fifth of 5. Halfway home in 48 1/5 seconds, so it's still Full Moon Blues. Loose on an uncontested lead. Doing Great, a length and a half behind in second. Pinch Pie, Tap for Luck, and Dixie City all together, third, fourth, and fifth. But first, for the time being, is Full Moon Blues, who continues to roll along and indeed opens up a 3-length lead as the field turns for home. Tap for Luck is now set down, second on the outside. Full Moon Blues driving to the 8th pole, still clear by 3. Tap for Luck in Dixie City. Tap for Luck was wandering to the outside. Dixie City had to alter course a bit, but it's still Full Moon Blues. Full Moon Blues is going to do it. After stealing a half mile in 48 1, Full Moon Blues pulls it off. Tap for Luck, second, and Dixie City third.
Full Moon Blues, another front-end win by a 2-year-old, 2 1/4 lengths the better of Tap for Luck, who made a nice move from off the pace as the second choice. Favored Dixie City completes the order of the top 3. Full Moon Blues in off a 10-length maiden special weight race win last time out at Laurel. Scores the victory. She is a 2-year-old dark bay or brown daughter of Patienville from Taurus Moon by He's a Bull. Bred in Kentucky by Everest Stable and owned by Jeffrey Nielsen. Trained by Tim Tulloch and ridden to victory by Malcolm Franklin. Full Moon Blues covers the mile in 138.56. Next up, still more 2-year-olds, this time 2-year-old colts in the running of the Grade 3 Nashua.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Quality Counsel, and to his inside to Honor and Serve. And on the far outside, Economic Summit is very keen to go on, and Eddie Castro reigns in Economic Summit. So crossing over onto the main track to Honor and Serve, sparring here with Quality Counsel. Economic Summit on hold, while third, Mucho Macho Man is rating under a strong hold. Fourth, and the early trailer is well held as well, settled for medal. The opening quarter, a tepid 24 seconds flat. And To Honor and Serve settles into an easy beat down the backstretch. No challenge here early on for To Honor and Serve. Quality Counsel is just outside of Mucho Macho Man, well in the grasp of David Cohen. In the clear on the far outside, Economic Summit. 2 lengths back to settle for medal. Sailing through the opening half mile in 48 1/5 seconds. To Honor and Serve. Still no one coming after him yet. Now the tempo's just starting to increase, but time's running out. 3 furlongs to go, and To Honor and Serve still rolling along on the lead. Quality Counsel less than a length behind in second now. Economic Summit on the outside. Mucho Macho Man's now called out for run. He slips through an opening toward the inside, and now comes off the rail. Top of the stretch, though, and To Honor and Serve still under a hand ride, and now a little more serious. Jose Lescano gives him his cue. He's gone. Goodbye. Honor and Serve just cruised around there, opened up a little bit in mid-stretch, and was geared down in the final 16th of a mile. Couldn't have been any easier. To Honor and Serve, much the best winner. Mucho Macho Man was second, and Quality Counsel was third.
To Honor and Serve, the heavy favorite in here at odds-on scores, throttled down easily by 4 at the end over Mucho Macho Man, with Quality Counsel off a pretty sharp maiden last time out, settling for third. To Honor and Serve had won a maiden special weight by almost 9 in his most recent start. He had been second to subsequent stakes winner Astrology in his prior start in his career debut. and has been a little bit of a talking horse right since the beginning of his career. To honor and serve is a son of Bernardini out of Pilfer by Deputy Minister, bred in Kentucky by Twin Creeks Farm, Larry Beyer and Rancho San Miguel, owned by the Live Oak Plantation, trained by Bill Mott, ridden to victory by Jose Lascano. To honor and serve covers the mile in 135.86. We will head back to Aqueduct and finally abandon the 2-year-olds for the time being, taking a look at older horses. Going a mile and 3/8 on the Red Smith. We will join the Red Smith in progress.
Down the backstretch. Strike a Deal. What's the script? Still running 1-2. Bold Hawk and Simard together, running 3rd and 4th. Still lingering at the back, our Grassy Rescue Squad and June Turk. Now there's a half mile remaining here. They've run 3/4 in 1:17 and 3, and they move into the far turn. Strike a Deal still on top. Still glued to him is What's the Script second. Simard just on the inside there of Bullhawk, and still Grassy together with Rescue Squad. June Turk will try to find some room somewhere as he makes a move down toward the rail. Now the field turns for home, and it's Strike a Deal and What's the Script, and now they're really going at it. Simard trying to split those two. Down the outside comes Bold Hawk, and Grassy is cut loose in the final furlong, and Rescue Squad 2. Wild finish, Red Smith. Rescue Squad down inside. On the outside, it's Grassy, and here's the wire, and Grassy got it. Grassy wins by almost a length. Rescue Squad second. Close for third. Bold Hawk, What's the Script?
Grassy picks up the victory from well back off the pace. A very solid rally by this guy who's a pretty strong kicker when he gets into gear late. Off a 3rd last time out to Winchester and Patio Prado in the Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. He scores by a length over Longshot Rescue Squad with Bold Hawk, who came back last time off a very long layoff to settle for a decent runner-up position that day. Here, moves into stakes company and held his own to finish 3rd. The winner, Grassy, is a 4-year-old gray son of El Prado from High Savannah by Roussillon, bred in Kentucky by Claiborne Farm and Adele Dill Schneider, owned by the breeders and trained by Christophe Clement, ridden to victory by Joe Bravo. Grassy runs the mile and 3/8 in 2:20.06. We will head to Churchill Downs now, take a look at a couple of the undercard stakes races from the Breeders' Cup weekend. We will head back to Thursday. The River City Handicap for older horses on the turf will join the River City in progress.
33rd running of the River City Handicap, and still the leader is Wise River, with Schramsberg now breathing down his throat latch. 3 wide his boots ahead, 4 wide. Here comes Ali's Event, Rahi Strada, all bottled up but nowhere to go. Battle of Hastings now begins to lose ground. Midnight Mischief comes under a ride, and it is Schramsberg who goes to the lead. Ali's Event towards the wide outside. Rahi Strada still tries to find a seam. Here's Battle of Hastings unleashed to the outside by Joel Rosario. 4 in line with a furlong to go. On the outside, Battle of Hastings has taken the lead. Boots ahead to the inside. Midnight Mischief is closing up towards the line. Battle of Hastings, Joel Rosario take the 33rd River City. In second, Midnight Mischief, and it's very close to 3rd. Boots ahead to the inside of Ali's Event.
Battle of Hastings, he had kind of gone to ground. They had been running him on the main track in Southern California. He was a decent 4th in the Pacific Classic behind Richard's Kid and Dakota Phone. He had been facing some pretty nice horses while racing on the synthetic. I think he's probably better on the turf here. He gets back onto his preferred surface and wins by 2.5 lengths over Midnight Mischief with Boots ahead back in 3rd. The winner, Battle of Hastings, is a bay gelding, a son of Royal Applause from Subia by Night Shift, bred in Great Britain by Myriad Communications in New England Stud, owned by Mike House, trained by Gregory Fox and ridden to victory by Joel Rosario. Battle of Hastings runs the mile in a furlong in 1:48.90. Next up, 3-year-olds and up in the Grade 3 mile and a 16th ACAC.
Trail like Jackson Bend, who ran 3rd in the Preakness. He's the last to load. Once again, here's Larry Comas.
In the ACAC handicap, Coliseo had the best beginning. On the outside is Jackson Bend away running in second, and Silver Edition's going to go with them and take over in the race to the first turn. Silver Edition on the rail, Jackson Bend to the outside. Coliseo's going to sit back. just to the outside of demarcation. They're 2 lengths off the lead, and apart is 5.5 behind Jackson Bend, who now takes charge. They make their way to the backstretch through a quarter of 23 3/5 seconds, and Jackson Bend starting to slow them down. 3/4 of a length in front of Silver Edition, who's down on the inside and holding second. Right alongside is Coliseo, third by another 2. Demarcation follows in fourth, 3.5 lengths off the lead, and Apart is close. Apart is just to the outside and beginning to move up as Silver Edition backpedals through the field. A 48 flat half mile. There's a half mile to go, and 4 horses are now across the track. From the rail out, Jackson Bend, Coliseo, Demarcation, and Apart on the far outside. Silver Edition trying to stay with them in fifth. Around the far turn, Coliseo pokes a neck in front. Jackson Bend is right there on the rail, but now under a ride. Demarcation's being pushed along. Apart has had an outside run throughout, and he's under a heavy drive. Coliseo's the one to catch, and they're into the stretch. Coliseo down to the 3/16 pole in front, trying to keep the lead. Apart is closing, and Demarcation's between those 2. Into the final furlong. It is Coliseo, Demarcation, and Apart. Apart takes the lead. Demarcation going with him. Coliseo back to third. Apart and a stubborn Demarcation, but Apart wins the Yak-Yak. Demarcation was second, Coliseo third, and Jackson Bend was fourth.
A nice run by 3-year-old Apart, who happens to be the workmate of Breeders' Cup Classic runner Blaine. Scores the victory by 3/4 of a length in nice fashion from off the pace over Demarcation, who was in off a pretty solid race and had actually run very, very well at Churchill in the past. Coliseo rounds out the top 3. Off of victories in the Prelude and the Super Derby, Apart scores over older horses for the first time. He is a dark bay or brown son of Flatter from Detached by Unbridled. Bred in Kentucky by Adele Dill Schneider and owned by the breeder, trained by Al Stahl and ridden to victory by Garrett Gomez. Apart covers the mile in the 16th and 143.79. We'll pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we will head into the Breeders' Cup portion of the Friday card. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We will continue now with the Breeders' Cup portion of the Friday card from Churchill. Starting things off, the Breeders' Cup Marathon at 1 mile and 3 furlong, or I'm sorry, at 1 mile and 3/4.
U Minor now comes forward. Goes in. Gates closed. All set for the Breeders' Cup Marathon. Field sent on their 1 mile and 3/4 journey. They all came out very smoothly. Going to the early lead is Romp. That's a new role for him today. Romp is showing early speed, but now been overtaken by Gabriel's Hill. And so the expected pace setter, Gabriel's Hill, kicks clear by 2 as Romp is taken back. Now there goes Precision Break on the far side, and Precision Break will take second. Atoned is making up ground down at the rail. Behind that, Aldafa. Just a steady pace, but obviously a long way to go. Back in behind that is Prince Will I Am tucked in at the rail. Alongside of that comes Million Seller, who's now 6 lengths off these leaders. A Como in the red colours has caught about 5 wide into the turn first time round. Bright Horizon is in there as well, gives that leader 7 length start. Then we come back to AU Minor, who's now passing horses back fourth last. Giant Oak is on a stranglehold second last, and Awesome Gem contender trail early. So Awesome Gem and Giant Oak, they're a good 12 off the lead, in no hurry at all. Coming through the stretch first time round now, and it's Gabriel's Hill. Very sensible pace out here. Ears cocked forward, just loping them along, leads it by just over a length. A comfortable second as Precision Break, quite content to just sit there in that second spot. Toned is right there at the rail third. Then comes Eldafar. Romp is now back in fifth, gives them 5 length start. Prince Will I Am is down at the rail. Alongside of that, Bright Horizon. El Como in the red colours is towards the rear, 7 lengths off these leaders. Then we come back to Million Salah down at the rail. AU Miners alongside of that. Now Giant Oak is starting to improve on the far side, still 8 lengths off the leaders. And David Flores making no attempt to get Awesome Gem into it at this stage. Awesome Gem is last as they covered half the journey. Awesome Gem 11 off the lead. So they move down the back stretch now in the marathon. And Gabriel's Hill still got this easy lead. He leads it by just over a length. Precision Breakers tracking in second. Atoned is tucked in a good spot third. Then it's Eldafar. Romp is the first one under pressure, now been asked to pick it up. Now Prince Will I Am improving at the rail in the gold colours. They've been followed by Bright Horizon, who's been pushed along. He's 7 off the leaders. El Como on the far side. AU Minor is biding his time back third last. Giant Oak did not continue that run. Now Awesome Gem is starting to roll. And Awesome Gem has the gold colours at the rail. Can David Flores find somewhere to go? Million Seller is last. Now it comes down to stamina as they come to the top of the lane in the marathon. And Gabriel's Hill telling them, you gotta come and catch me, you wanna win this one. Gabriel's Hill hugs the rail and kicks on for home now. Has gone clear to lead by 2. Prince Will I Am coming with a big run down the centre. Prince Will I Am, Eldafar between horses. El Como's running on from fourth. It's a thriller in the marathon as they come for home. It is Eldafar between them going on. Eldafar a narrow leader from Prince Will I Am. But it is going to be Eldafar to take the marathon. Eldafar stays all day to win by 2. Prince Will I Am was second. Gabriel's Hill finished up third. And AU Minor running on fourth.
Eldafar picks up the victory. A nice effort by this guy who was close to the pace right from the get-go. He sat in about 4th in the early going as Gabriel's Hill opened up on the front end. Big problems, however, at the top of the stretch as they turned for home, with Prince Will I Am and Javier Castellano moving out, taking a little bit of the course away from, amongst others, Romp, who almost lost his footing entirely. Martin Garcia almost coming off in kind of an ugly situation. Calvin Burrell was just to his outside on AU Minor. Did have a little bit of a bumping incident carrying out into Burrell's horse. Burrell actually reached over and took a hold of Garcia and helped steady him on his horse. And as a result of that incident, there was an incident in the winner's circle that has been much documented. Both Javier Castellano and Calvin Burrell have been sentenced with some fines and so forth as a result. But obviously there was quite a bit of bad blood following this race due to that incident at the top of the stretch. And I think it's fair to say perhaps marred Eldafar's win. A very nice, solid performance by this guy who had won 2 in a row. A turf allowance 2 races back, followed up by the Turfway Fall Championship, a grade 3 and an extended route last time out. So he certainly made good sense in here. Of course, the pedigree spoke here. He is a dark bay or brown gelded son of AP Indy from Habibti by Belmont winner Tabasco Cat. So he's got AP Indy, a Belmont and Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Tabasco Cat, a Breeders' Cup winner, right there in the pedigree, indicating that the route of ground should suit him well. He was bred in Kentucky by Shadwell Farm, is owned by IEAH Stable and Mansour Albarudi. He is trained by Diane Alvarado and ridden to victory by John Velasquez. Eldafar covers the mile in 3/4 in 2:59.62. We'll head back to Breeders' Cup competition. Next up, it is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
Coming forward and going into the gate now, Lua d'Amour. They are all set. And away they go. All appear to come away very well. The big long shot, Dos Lunas from the inside gate, very fast into stride. Arch Support is right there. Quiet Oasis down at the rail. And now Fancy Point in the blue cap going up on the outside to join the leaders. More Than Real has to go 4 wide as they all bunch up into the turn. Just in behind that comes Wyomere in the red cap, only 4 lengths off these leaders. Racing in just behind that, we have New Normal, who's racing in mid-pack. Down at the rail comes Tale Untold. They have been followed by Catman Blues, very keen to go on. On the outside, Allure d'Amour, and then we come back to Together, and last of all is Flood Plain, giving them 9-length start. Fairly compact as they run to the half-mile pole. Still this long shot, Dos Lumas in front now. On the outside, Fancy Point though, and it's going to be Fancy Point to kick on for home now. Quiet Oasis is tucked in third. Then comes Arch Support. Oh, blowing the turn. Here's Allure d'Amour going very wide, but passing horses fast. Allure d'Amour extreme outside going up to take them on. Down at the rail, Winter Memories. And Winter Memories, the grey now, just needs somewhere to run. Winter Memories going to try to get off the rail. She does. They come for home. Dos Lunas, the long shot, running a huge one. On the outside, here comes More Than Real and Winter Memories. The greys had a tough trip so far. Winter Memories squeeze, gets out now and comes home gamely for home. They come for home now, and it's still More Than Real in front. Winter Memories trying to re-rally together, but it is still More Than Real, and it's going to be More Than Real. And Garrett Gomez to score convincingly. More Than Real, a little unlucky was Winter Memories, perhaps not going to win it anyway. Catman Blue came on third, and Forest Legend finished up fourth.
More Than Real rallies very strongly from an outside position. Winter Memories trying to come through horses inside. Had to tap on the brake a couple of times, but that tends to be what happens when you end up going for the inside path. More Than Real got the jump on her, scored by 2 lengths over Winter Memories. Catman Blue rallies strongly from well back off the pace with a little bit of traffic of her own. The winner, More Than Real, in off a second, and then Natalma had won a maiden special here at Saratoga while trained by Chad Brown, was sold privately to the Current Connections following that performance. More Than Real is a chestnut daughter of More Than Ready from Miss Seffens by DeHare. Bred in Kentucky by the Santucket stable and owned by Bobby Flay, trained by Todd Pletcher, and ridden to victory by Garrett Gomez. More Than Real covers the mile in 136.61. Next up, Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint at 7 furlongs.
Side gate, they're all set now for the Filly and Mare Sprint. Gates closed. And away they go in the sprint, and Sarah Louise missed the break. Sarah Louise is last. Quick into stride is Gabby's Golden Gal. On the inside of that comes Moon Toon Missy. On the far side, Dubai Majesty switches in the leading group 2. Champagne Doro, White Cap Extreme outside. Down at the rail comes Secret Gypsy. Up alongside a Secret Gypsy, we have Jessica is back, only 3 off the leaders. Then it's Renterville. Informed Decision, the grey, 5 off them. Then My Jen, Evening Jewel alongside of that. Sarah Louise got a tall order now. She's second last, and Sweet August Moon is trailing. A very bunch field has a half-mile left to go in the Filly and Mare Sprint. And now it is on the inside. We have Secret Gypsy coming on to take on Gabby's Golden Gal. Champagne Doro, White Cap on the far side is right there too. Dubai Majesty switches in there. Jessica is back. Evening Jewel. My Jen. Sarah Louise has made hard work of it the whole way. Sweet August Moon, Informed Decision last. Informed Decision didn't fire. They are homeward bound. Gabby's Golden Girl gives way now. Down the centre, Dubai Majesty strikes the front and opens up. Champagne Doro switches, trying to get involved late as well. They come for home here, and it's all Dubai Majesty. Dubai Majesty in a race of her own. Switches finishing gamely on the inside. Dubai Majesty shifts out late, but is far too good. A scintillating win by Dubai Majesty. Switch closing the gap gamely second. Evening Jewel was a gallant third, and finishing fourth, Champagne Doro.
It was a wide open field, and it ended up as the horse for course getting the victory. Jamie Theriault scores his first ever Breeders' Cup win, and fitting that it should come at Churchill Downs, where this mare has won 4 of 7 of her starts, including winning the winning colors here earlier this year. Last out had won the TCA, Thoroughbred Club of America Stakes at Keeneland, so obviously was also in very good form as she scores over Switch, who had been run down in the shadow of the wire in her most recent performance by none other than Zenyatta. Evening Jewel, who has spent the better portion of her career going long on dirt, Turf and Synthetic backs it up to 7 furlongs and rallies for third. The winner, Dubai Majesty, a dark bay or brown mare, a daughter of Essence of Dubai from Great Majesty by Great Above. Bred in Florida by Harold Plumley and owned by Martin Racing Stable and Dan Morgan, trained by Brett Calhoun and ridden to victory by Jamie Theriot. Dubai Majesty covers the 7 at 122.31. We'll head right back to Kentucky, continue with the Breeders' Cup. This time it is the Grey Goose Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Up right now. Goes in, all set now. The Juvenile Fillies. And away they go. Geordie Y was a little slow to begin from the outside gate. Heat Lightning broke smartly and goes straight to the front. Alongside Delightful Mary is right there, and the Grey Joyful Victory's up there too. Awesome Feather, and down at the rail there goes Taskin's Theory now, and Taskin's Theory's pulling her way up to join the leader. They couldn't be going any quicker out here. Delightful Mary's dropped back into the 5th spot. On the far side is Sound Wave. Holland's Ruby's keen to go on. Red colours at the rail, and Holland's Ruby now pulling her way up smartly to 5th. Then we come back to AZ Warrior, being dropped in 6 lengths off the leaders. Is She Legal has dropped back 3rd last. Then it comes Believe AP, who's now 10 off those leaders. Tell A. Kelly is back 2nd last, and Geordie Y, the trailer. So they run to the half-mile pace pole now. They're keeping the pressure on. Heat Lightning, the leader. Taskin's Theory tucked in right there at the rail. Awesome Feathers on the far side. Alongside of that, Harlan's Ruby and Joyful Victory. On the far side, we have Delightful Mary, being followed then by AZ Warrior, who's now 8 lengths off the leaders. Then Believe in AP, Soundwave, Teller Kelly is far back. They are approaching the quarter pole, and it's still Lightning Heat out on the lead, taken on by Awesome Feather. And here comes Awesome Feather with a huge run now. Delightful Mary's right there in 3rd. Taskin's Theory having to be ridden along. Tele Kelly too far back. Homeward bound now in the Juvenile Fillies, and it's turning into a 2-horse race. Heat Lightning along the inside. Up alongside comes Awesome Feather. They are head and head with an 1/8 of a mile to go. Heat Lightning and Johnny Velasquez at the rail. Awesome Feather and Jeffrey Sanchez. Now it is Awesome Feather gaining the advantage as they come past the 16. And Awesome Feather's pulling clear late. And Awesome Feather has won the Juvenile Fillies. Awesome Feather to Heat Lightning. Delightful Mary finished 3rd, and Believe in AP came on for 4th.
Awesome Feather runs her record to 6 for 6. The public really did not know what to do in the betting, and she was led off as the favorite at over 4-1. She scores over the 4th choice, Heat Lightning, who showed considerable early speed. In her previous 2 starts, she had rallied from off the pace. Delightful Mary in from Woodbine, where she had been running on turf and polytrack, completes the order of the top 3. The winner, Awesome Feather, who went through the sales ring only a day or so after her Breeders' Cup victory, has been sold now to Frank Stronach off of that impressive performance for over $2 million. But the connections that afternoon, however, get to still bask in some glory and now get to count a little bit more cash. Awesome Feather is a 2-year-old daughter of Awesome, of course, from Precious Feather by Gone West, bred in Florida by Jack's or Better Farm and owned at the time by the breeder, now owned by Mr. Stronach, trained by Stanley Gold and ridden to victory by Jeffrey Sanchez. Awesome Feather covers the mile in the 16th and 145.17. Next up, it is the Emirates Airlines Filly and Mare Turf.
The runners inside the gate, standing quietly. Forever Together, the veteran, goes in quietly. Gates closed. They're all set. Wheels sent on their 1 3/8 journey, and they all came away beautifully. Harmonious broke smartly. It's going to be interesting now as Harmonious going to go to the lead today. She is right now. She's showing good speed on the far side. But now it's Eclair de Lune and Plumania. Those two kick through on the inside, and Shared Account settles in the 4th position. Kentasormo has Red Desire in 5th. He's now 4.5 off the leaders. And here's Midday, pretty keen to go on. White Sleeves down at the rail. Hereby Yeeb is racing in the mid-pack now, giving them 7-length start. Miss Keller on the inside of that. Then back to Kia Tana, who's been taken back 3rd last. Hot Cha-Cha is 2nd last. And Forever Together, the early trailer. There's got to be 12-13 lengths from 1st to last as they come through the stretch with 1 lap to go. And it's Olivia Opalia out here on Kumania, leading it just over a length to Eclair de Lune. Shared Account is down at the rail, and Harmonious close today in the 4th spot, 3 lengths off the leaders. Here's Midday Midday now in a good spot down at the rail. Midday's in 5th, 4 lengths off the leaders. Red Desire could keep her in though. Red Desire's right up alongside of Midday as they go onto the backstretch. In behind that, Frankie Dettori and Hibayi. They are now 7 off the lead. Down at the rail comes Miss Keller. Then it's Kiatana, the grey Forever Together, and the long shot Hot Cha-Cha is the trailer, 10 lengths off the leaders. So they make their way to the half-mile pole, and Plumania now is the one to catch. Plumania a length and a half. But Claire de Lune is travelling comfortably in 2nd. Harmonious on the far side. Shared Account at the rail. Midday races between horses in the 5th spot. Then it's Red Desire, Miss Keller. Hibayi as the blue colours. Only 5 off them. They're bunching up out here. Just behind that, Kiatana, Forever Together, and Hot Cha-Cha trails. A Bunchfield comes to the top of the lane. Plumania the leader. Now a Claire de Lune though, and a Claire de Lune is going well. A Claire de Lune strikes the front. Harmonious, Red Desire, Red Cap, Midday in the white sleeves looking to get out, is in tight. Midday's got to try to pick it up. Down the centre of the track, Kiatana's running a huge one. Red Desire, Claire de Lune, Midday on the inside running on. Shared Account out of nowhere. Hibayi out of nowhere. Any one of a half dozen can win it. Shared Account on the inside and Midday. On the outside of those two comes Kiatana. Shared Account in a driving finish is outrun Midday. Kiatana a huge run 3rd, and Hot Cha-Cha even came from dead last to snatch 4th.
Shared Account, who had only scored 1 victory this year, although she had faced some of the best, including running a close 2nd in the Diana Handicap here at Saratoga, manages to slip through splitting horses and scoring by a neck inside of Midday, the heavy favorite, with long shot horse for course Kiatana completing the order of the top 3. As it was a disappointing afternoon for some of the Euros, Red Desire having to settle for 4th in this spot. Hibayeb, who had run in the United States prior but had actually come from Europe earlier in the year, as well as Plumania, who was involved early, all disappointing. The winner, Shared Account, a bay 4-year-old daughter of Pleasantly Perfect from Silk and Sapphire by Smart Strike, was bred in Kentucky by William A. Carl and is owned by the Sagamore Farm, trained by Graham Motion and ridden to victory by Edgar Prado. Shared Account covers the mile in 3/8 and 2:17.74. We'll head right back to Kentucky now and the running of the Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic.
In Kentucky, it's the Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic. Trevor Denman with the call.
Away they go in the Ladies' Classic to an absolutely perfect start, but then Life at 10, no interest, and Life at 10 has dropped far back early. Quickest into stride on the inside, we have Malibu Prayer. Up alongside of that comes Acting Happy, a Coma on the outside. Those three keep the pressure on one another. Just in behind that comes Unrivaled Bell. Unrivaled Bell settling down in the 4th position now. Milwaukee Appeal scrapes the paint 3 lengths off these leaders. In behind that comes It's Tea Time. Heather de Grace is racing back in 7th, 5 lengths off that leader. It's another 3 back to Persistently seeking the title, and Blind Luck at the back of the pack is a good 10 lengths off these leaders, and just showing no interest at this stage. A long, long way last is Life at 10. They go on down the backstretch towards the 5/8 now. And it is Malibu Prayer setting a good pace. Malibu Prayer a length and a half to Acting Happy. A Coma is in 3rd. Milwaukee Appeal down at the rail. Unrivaled Bell being patiently ridden from the 5th spot. Then It's Tea Time. Heather de Grace is now 7 lengths off the leaders. Then comes Persistently. Racing on the inside of Persistently now we have Blind Luck, who's starting to roll from behind. Blind Luck still 8 off them, those seeking the title inside of her. They are coming to the quarter pole in the Ladies Classic, and Unrivaled Bell now goes up to strike the front, and Kent DeSormo and Unrivaled Bell telling them, you're going to have to come and catch me to win it. Here comes Heather de Grace. Heather de Grace running a huge one in the centre. A Coma along the inside, and here's Blind Luck, and Blind Luck is coming like an express train on the outside. Unrivaled Bell digs deep, finds more. Blind Luck is closing the gap with each and every stride. Heather de Grace in there as well, but it's Unrivaled Bell coming home to score, and it is going to be Unrivaled Bell and Kent DeSormo take the Ladies Classic in a huge performance. Blind Luck ran her heart out, had to settle for 2nd, then Heather de Grace, and It's Tea Time finished up 4th.
Another controversy. We had bookending controversies with the marathon and then with the Ladies Classic. As you can see, Unrivaled Belle, very impressive in victory off a perfect stalking trip, Blind Luck, making her usual off-the-pace move, but did not get anywhere near the kind of pace that I might have expected her to get when they went 113.75. Certainly cost her a little bit. Havre de Grace also rallying to finish in the third spot. Of course, the controversy involving none other than Life at 10, who you had to figure would have been involved in the start, would have gotten right up there, at least towards the front, and perhaps created a little bit more of a contested pace. Did not show anything at all, breaking sluggishly and quickly dropping back and losing contact with the field. She simply jogged across the wire. There was some controversy apparently on the ESPN coverage. Both Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez had expressed some doubts about her condition prior to the race, and yet after getting approval from the veterinary authorities at the starting gate, they did in fact send her out to compete, and obviously she was not quite in any state or condition to do so. Now the mare has been vetted and apparently is fine. There does not appear to be anything particularly wrong with her, but it certainly did leave a bad taste for a number of people, as she was the second choice in the wagering at just under 4-1, and obviously a horse that a lot of people figured, even if they didn't bet her to win, that they figured her into their handicapping heavily as a very serious pace factor. Nonetheless, you can take nothing from Unrivaled Belle, who was very impressive. She sat a perfect stalking trip. I thought she'd probably be a little bit more aggressive in the early going. She basically sat the trip that I expected Life at 10 to get. She, of course, a horse that had beaten Rachel Alexandra earlier this year in the spring in the Fleur de Lis, and had spent a good portion of the summer chasing Life at 10 earlier this year. So obviously finally gets the opportunity to take advantage as she scores by almost 2 over Blind Luck and Havre de Grace. Unrivaled Belle is a 4-year-old gray daughter of Unbridled Song from Queenie Belle by Bertrando, bred in Kentucky by Gary Seidler and Peter Vegso, owned by the breeders and trained by Bill Mott, ridden to victory by Kent DeSormo. Unrivaled Belle covers the 9 and 150.04. We'll pause now for one more brief message. When we return, we'll be finishing up with Saturday's Breeders' Cup card. Please stay with us.
This portion of the program brought to you by Capital Bets. For more information, go to capitalotb.com.
Catch the excitement with Capital OTB online. It's now easier than ever with internet wagering at capitalotb.com. Wager online and get track odds, online contests, membership specials, and it's secure and fan-friendly. Whether it's a big stakes day like the Kentucky Derby, Belmont Stakes, Travers Stakes, Breeders' Cup, or just a great day of racing, wagering online at capitalotb.com is always simple and easy. Sign up today at capitalotb.com because your chances are better with Capital OTB.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We will continue now with Saturday's Breeders' Cup program, starting things out, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
8 straight Breeders' Cup races. Championship Saturday. Here's Trevor Denman.
Juvenile Turf. And away they go to a very good beginning. Plucker's slow into stride though. Madman Diaries wants the early lead, and he sprints away to lead it. Band is getting up to race in second. Air Support is keen to go on in the white cap. Mantoba, Frankie Dettori having to take back down at the rail. On the extreme outside, Humble and Hungry's running up alongside of them as well, and Soul Dat is in the vanguard as well. The pace good. Oh, going down at the back here. We have Rough Sailing. Rough Sailing fell on the turn. Rough Sailing is on his feet. The rider's up as well. They move on to the backstretch now, and it's on the outside we have going up to take the leaders, Humble and Hungry up alongside of that. Madman Diaries, they followed by Air Support. Band is in the 4th spot. Soul Dat is down at the rail. Then Wilcox in. Behind that is Mantoba, ridden along 7 lengths off the leaders. Now here is Master of Hounds, and Master of Hounds also 7 to make up. In behind that comes Utley, who's racing back 3rd last. Deciphering Dreams is 2nd last, and Pluck as the trailer has 10 to make up. They bunching up as they come to the top of the lane. Madman Diaries is still the leader. On the outside, here comes Band with a nice run in the gold cap. And Band is now coming looking for the lead. And it's Band and Joel Rosario striking the front as they turn for home. Humble and Hungry. Now Master of Hounds is unwinding his run in the center of the track. Soul Dat is on the inside. Homeward bound Madman Diaries has run a big one. Band is right up alongside of that. Soul Dat. Now here comes Pluck out of the clouds. And Pluck looking like he just jumped in at the quarter pole, and Pluck from last to first, winning it in a canter. Pluck and Garrett Gomez have taken the juvenile on the turf. Second will go to Soul Dat, close then for 3rd.
Unfortunately, the first race of the card is again marred by an incident as Rough Sailing fell going into the first turn and did end up, unfortunately, being euthanized as a result of a broken shoulder. However, it takes nothing from the winner, Pluck, who had a little bit of a troubled trip and did have to steady because of the incident on the first turn, rally strongly from last to first to score the victory by a length over Soul Dat. Well, I think it's fair to say Alan Garcia on Soul Dat never really saw Pluck coming. There were a couple of horses running in between them as he had taken the lead from down inside. In the meantime, Wilcox Inn also rallied very well at a big price to complete the top 3. The winner, Pluck, in off of the win in the Summer Stakes last time out at Woodbine, is Dark Bear Brown Son of More Than Ready from Secret Heart by Fort Wood. Bred in Kentucky by Team Valor and owned by Team Valor International, trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden to victory by Garrett Gomez, Pluck covers the mile in 136.98. We will continue now with Breeders' Cup competition, Sentient Jet Breeders' Cup Sprint next up.
The come up now for the Breeders' Cup Sprint is Warriors Reward. They've loaded quickly. Warriors Reward in. They're all set for the sprint. And away they go. They broke well. Pashito the Shea then was slow to get going. From the inside gate, Big Drama is very fast. Cash Refund, Attaboy Roy's right there on the far side. Kinsale King in the gold colours and Smiling Tiger in the red. 5 of them all lining up on the lead here. Riley Tucker's going to have to go wide. Now here's Wise Dan making good ground, 1 from the rail, and Girolamo in the blue down at the rail. They have been followed by Pashito the Shea, 6 lengths off the leaders. Then it's Amazing Destiny, a gap of 4 lengths further back comes Warriors Reward, and Supreme Summit is last. 5/16 to go, and Big Drama is the leader, but a wall of horses coming to tackle. Big Drama, Cash Refund, Attaboy Roy, Smiling Tiger, Red Cap at the rail. Riley Tucker, 4 wide, but right there. Then it is Kinsale Kin in behind that. Amazing Destinies behind them. They come for home now. Warriors Reward is winding up on the grandstand side, but Big Drama the one to catch. Big Drama is clear. Warriors Reward down the center is coming home gamely. Amazing Destiny running a big one. Smiling Tiger and running on late is Wise Dan, but it's Big Drama digging deep and finding more. Big Drama in front to Amazing Destiny. Big Drama will win it. Big Drama has won the sprint. Amazing Destiny second. Smiling Tiger will be in a photo with Supreme Summit, who came from last to be in that photo for 3rd.
Big Drama goes to the front and stays there. A horse who really does like the 6 furlong configuration. Kicked along very nicely and scored by a length and a half over the late moving Amazing Destiny, who is in off a very fast performance in Allowance Company at Delaware Park. Smiling Tiger, the California hopeful, completes the order in the top 3 with a late run. Big Drama would run second in both the Vanderbilt and the Forgo here at Saratoga. Perhaps not as sharp as Majestic Perfection at that time, not quite as good at 7 as at 6. Here gets to go back to the distance of his 2 prior starts, the Smile and the Punch, both of which were strong victories. The winner, Big Drama, is a dark bay brown son of Montbrook from Riveting Drama by Notebook, bred in Florida by Harold L. Queen and owned by the breeders, trained by David Fawkes and ridden to victory by Ibar Koa. Big Drama covers the 6 furlongs at Churchill in 109.05. Next up, we'll head back to the turf course, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint at 5 furlongs.
Ultra crucial. Canadian Ballet completes the lineup. They're all in now. 5 furlongs to dash. And away they go. On the inside, Chamberlain Bridge, but Central City is fastest. Alongside of that, we have Stradivinsky. On the far side, Canadian Ballet. Tropic Storm is in there with Bridgetown and Zip Me right there in the red cap. Racing in behind that now, we have Rose Catherine, Waveline, Silver Timber is 4 lengths off these leaders. California Flag far back, but making ground in the green colours. Behind that comes Quick Enough. And then we come back to Grand Adventure, and behind that is Due Date. They come into the top of the lane, and Central City's the leader. Stradivinsky is right there as well. Stradivinsky coming to take them on, and Bridgetown in the centre of the track. Bridgetown on the outside, Stradivinsky, Silver Timber, Waveline starting a late run, and Zip Me on the inside. They come for home now. Bridgetown on the outside gets the lead from Central City, and Zip Me's coming home late. Chamberlain Bridge on the outside. Chamberlain Bridge coming flying in the white breakers. Chamberlain Bridge has mowed them all down, and Chamberlain Bridge has won the sprint. Central City would be second. 4-way photo for third. That'll be between Due Date is in there, and on the outside of that, California Flag.
Chamberlain Bridge, another horse for course, scoring the victory once again under Jamie Theriault. He did not have to wait long for his second Breeders' Cup victory as Chamberlain Bridge rallies from off the pace. Loves this course. He's 4 for 5 over the Churchill turf course. He is an old-time turf sprint pro who loves the 5 and 5.5 furlongs. They have not sent him out to the Breeders' Cup at the on the downhill turf course over the last couple of years. So this was his first try to do this, and he has been a really hard hitter in the sprint game on the grass for a number of years. He scores over pacesetter Central City with Unzip Me, normally involved in the early pace, rallying to finish a good third, only a nose in front of Bridgetown. Chamberlain Bridge is a bay gelding, a son of War Chant from She's Got Class by Trempolino. Bred in Kentucky by Eugene Melnick and owned by Carl R. Moore Management, trained by Brett Calhoun, who had his first Breeders' Cup victory with Dubai Majesty and Jamie Theriault the day before. They didn't have to wait long for win number 2 as Chamberlain Bridge covers the 5 and 56.53. We'll continue now in Breeders' Cup competition. Next up, the Grey Goose Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
They come up to the outside gate. Jay Cito goes straight in. They are all set for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And away they go to a perfect start. They all broke out well. Riveting Reason is fast into stride on the outside. Uncle Mo. Stay Thirsty is right there, and JB's Thunder moving through down at the rail. Just in behind that comes Boys at Toscanova, who's taken back 6-5 off a fast pace up there. Merjan is in the pink colours on the far side. Biondetti in the blue down at the rail. JP's Gusto has been taken back today. JP's Gusto is third last, 8 lengths off the leaders. In behind that comes Rogue Romance, and Jay Cito cornered very wide. Jay Cito is running right out on the track with Mike Smith. Jay Cito on the extreme outside. They run to the 5/8 pole, and Riveting Reason's taken a hold of the bit. He's keen to go on, and Riveting Reason leads it by 2. Uncle Mo is in the perfect spot, though. A confident look back from John Velasquez on Uncle Mo. He's happy with his spot right there, second. On the far side, Boys at Toscanova. Down at the rail, JB's Thunder. Biondetti is in there as well. Stay Thirsty is only 3 lengths off these leaders as they bunch up. Then it's Rogue Romance. JP's Gusto been ridden along but not responding. In behind that comes Merjan. And Jay Cito, obviously something amiss, tailed off. They are coming to the top of the lane, and Riveting Reason desperate to hold on, but Uncle Mo is breathing down his neck, and Uncle Mo is let loose, and look at him stride away. Uncle Mo, big leaping strides. He's opening up. Boys on Toscanova is second, but this is an overwhelming performance by Uncle Mo, the son of Indian Charlie. John Velasquez just got to point him in the right direction, takes a look back. Uncle Mo, superb in the juvenile. It'll be Boys at Toscanova in second. Rogue Romance finished up third, and Biondetti ran on fourth.
Uncle Mo scores the victory impressively by 4 1/4 lengths. The early speed came from Riveting Reason, but it wasn't long before Uncle Mo was breathing down his neck and taking command. By the top of the stretch, he looked completely unbeatable. Boys at Toscanova splitting horses and made a nice move into contention, but he was no match for the winner. It was 6 lengths back to Rogue Romance in the 3rd spot. Now 3 for 3, Uncle Mo won a maiden at Saratoga, followed that up with the Grade 1 Champagne, and of course now looks to be on his way to the 2-year-old championship with his win in the Juvenile. Uncle Mo is a 2-year-old son of Indian Charlie from Playa Maya by Arch, bred in Kentucky by D. Michael KV DVM and owned by the Rapoli stable, who had a big party in the winner's circle on Saturday. Trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden to victory by John Velasquez, Uncle Mo covers the mile in the 16th and 142.60. We'll head right back to Churchill Downs now. Next up, the TVG Breeders' Cup Mile.
Denman for the call.
All be set. Visor goes in. All set now for the TVG mile. And away they go to another perfect start. Goldacova not quick into stride though. She's dropping in mid-pack. Fastest into stride here is Sydney's Candy, and Sydney's Candy all alone out here on the lead. Get Stormy's racing along second. Beethoven kicks through at the rail. The Usual QT is pulling very hard. The Usual QT wants to go on now. Has pulled his way up to be a joint second. Now here's Goldacova, caught a little wide in the turn. In the white cap is giving them 5 length start. Just in front of that, Delegator, who's going up closer. Caught vision as the white blinkers down at the rail. They are followed by Paco Boy, who's back 4th last, gives them 7 length start. Proviso's at the back of the leading group, and then we come back to Gio Ponti. Gio Ponti's 10 lengths off the leaders, and another 4 back to Society's chairman. They run towards the half-mile pole now, and Sydney's Candy's ensured a good pace. Sydney's Candy by a length to Get Stormy. Beethoven's tucked in at the rail in 3rd. On the outside of that, Frankie Dettori and Delegator are 4th. Then the Usual QT is losing ground. Now here's Goldacova back 6, and let's see. Goldacova has 7 to make up. Goldacova's going to have to kick it in. They turn for home, and Sydney's Candy still strong on the lead. And Sydney's Candy gets a tap on the shoulder, goes on for home. Now Goldacova's unwinding her run in the centre of the track. Goldacova's let loose, she's flying. Sydney's Candy, the Usual QT's in there as well, but Goldacova's catching with each and every stride. Are we to see history this afternoon? Here's Paco Boy late, but no, Goldacova, a true champion. 3 Breeders' Cup wins. Olivia Pellier, the perfect ride. Goldacova has won. Gio Ponti, the Usual QT, and Paco Boy lined up to chase her home.
Perhaps one of the most emotional moments on the card as Goldacova picks up her 3rd consecutive Breeders' Cup victory. And what a campaign she has had. 15 for 21 lifetime, competing almost exclusively against males and just about always in the highest of company. And here she puts it together with a huge run from off the pace to score by almost 2 over Gio Ponti, who completed his usual run very strongly to finish 2nd with the Usual QT. Kind of an unusual trip. At one point or another, he actually was kind of contesting in the early going. Looked like he was trying to go on with the early pacemaker, Sydney's Candy. He did drop back a little bit, re-rallied, and completed the order of the top 3. The winner, Goldacova, a 5-year-old bay mare, a daughter of Annaba from Born Gold by Blushing Groom, was bred in Ireland by Wertheimer and Frere, owned by the breeders and trained by Freddie Head, ridden to victory by Olivier Pellier. In fact, following the race, it has been indicated that Goldacova is about 50-50 to come back again next year at the age of 6, with the ultimate goal once again being the Breeders' Cup Mile. So that would certainly be exciting if she were to try, especially if she were to succeed picking up her 4th Breeders' Cup Mile. The 3rd is already an unprecedented feat. Goldacova covers the 1 mile distance at Churchill in 135.16. Next up, we'll head back to the main track in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
At 3 to 1. Let's go up to Trevor Denman with the call of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
For the mile. And away they go. Vineyard Haven, the grey on the far side, is away very fast. Morning Line in the white begins quickly. They sprinting for a mile out there. On the inside of those two now we have Hurricane Ike dropping down onto the rail. Cool Coleman is showing speed. Up between horses goes Mad Flatter in the orange. Down at the rail, Tisway. Tisway now takes the 4th spot. The Sky Has No Limit is 4 lengths off these leaders. Gallardo is going to have to go wide. Now here comes Ben, and he's pulling his way along in the pink cap. Here comes Ben, has room down at the rail as well. Aconite is at the back of the leading group, then a big gap of 5 lengths further back comes Mine That Bird, who's 13 off the leaders, and Dakota Phone is last. Into the turn they go. There's no breathers up front. They are keeping the pressure on one another. Morning Line on the far side. Hurricane Ike is right there down at the rail. Tisway is right between those two. On the outside of that, we have Vineyard Haven, the grey, now being sent along. A quarter of a mile to go, and Morning Line takes the lead, but the come from behind is moving in now. The Sky Has No Limit is in with a big shot. Just in behind that here comes Ben, has to do just a little better than that as well. Here comes Ben on the outside of that. Vineyard Haven, Coleman with a late run on the extreme outside as well. And here comes Dakota Phone out of the clouds. Dakota Phone, Morning Line, Dakota Phone, Morning Line, Coleman, Gallego coming late. Gallego comes between them on the inside. Morning Line, Dakota Phone hit it together. Very, very close. Dakota Phone, Morning Line. Gallego was right there third, and Tisway finished up fourth.
Dakota Phone, one of the longest shots on the board at 37-1. In fact, the longest shot on the board, scores the victory by a game head over Morning Line, who I thought ran a tremendous race in defeat. Gallego completes the order of the top 3 from well back off the pace. The winner, Dakota Phone, coming in out of having basically run against some of the best horses in California, going longer on the synthetic. He had faced the likes of Battle of Hastings, who we've already seen on the program in his turf victory. He'd run against Richard's Kid, who probably would have been one of the leading contenders in the Classic. The unusual QT, who of course we just saw running well behind Goldacova. So he had been facing very good horses all year long, going a little bit longer, going on other surfaces, limited experience on the dirt, but his quality did show as he scores by a game head. Dakota Phone is a bay gelding, a son of Zavita from World of Gold by Spinning World. Bred in Kentucky by Cashmark Farm and Dakota Stable, owned by John Carver, Halo Farm, George Todaro, and Jerry Hollendorfer, trained by Jerry Hollendorfer and ridden to victory by Joel Rosario. Dakota Phone covers the mile on the turf in 135.29. Back to the grass course now for the Emirates Airlines Breeders' Cup Turf.
Now for the Breeders' Cup Turf. Hill sent on their 1.5-mile journey. They all came out as one. Let them settle down for a leader here. It's going to be Champ Pegasus. He wants to go on, and it's actually quite a quick early pace here. Champ Pegasus has now been joined by Dangerous Mid on the far side. Bekabab is taken back to settle in the 3rd position. Then we come back to Kelling. Here's Debussy coming through down at the rail now to be 4th. He's 5 lengths off these leaders. Winchester is taken back towards the rear, and Al Khali, the early trailer, 7 lengths would cover the lot. So they come to the top of the stretch first time round, and Champ Pegasus shows the way here, leads it by just under 2 lengths. Dangerous Midge is quite content to sit there in 2nd, and Bekabad is right there in 3rd. Telling has the blue cap on the outside of him, and Debussy with a big white face is racing back 3rd last. Then we come back to Al Khali and Winchester, the early trailer. So they come past the stands now with 1 lap left to go. Joel Rosario and Champ Pegasus now, they've slowed them down up front. He's just taking them along as slow as he can. He leads them by just over a length. Dangerous Midge is in 2nd. Bekabad has taken a beautiful hold in 3rd, and Bekabad now tugging his way along in that 3rd spot. Telling is back in the 4th position. Telling only 4 lengths off these leaders. Debussy has been 5th throughout. He's quite content to just sit there. He's 4.5 off the leaders. In behind that comes Al Khali, and still at the back is Winchester. So they're fairly tightly compact now. 6 lengths would cover the lot, and they start to make their way down the back stretch. Champ Pegasus still under no pressure on the lead though. Dangerous Midge, now Dangerous Midge is starting to put some pressure on, and they're quickening it again as they go to the half-mile. Bekabad now has 4 lengths to make up on the far side. Telling Debussy is still tucked in down at the rail. Then we come back to Al Khali and still the trailer Winchester. So now they start to turn the pressure on as they go into the far turn. It's Champ Pegasus being pressured now by Dangerous Midge in 2nd.
Beckerbard is in the green colours down at the rail, then telling Debussy has dropped to be 7 off the leaders, Alkali and Winchester at the top of the lane, and now the stamina counts. It's still Champ Pegasus. Oh, but a dream run on the inside for Beckerbard if he's good enough. Debussy down at the rail on the outside. Dangerous Midge, they sprinting for home now, and Champ Pegasus is all hot. Debussy on the inside, not doing enough. Here's Dangerous Midge on the outside. Beckerbard did not go on, but Dangerous Midge did, and it's going to be Dangerous Midge and Frankie Dettori to take it. Dangerous Midge just under 2. Champ Pegasus again second. In behind that was Beckerbard, and finishing 4th was Winchester.
Dangerous Midge pulls off a little bit of an upset. His most recent performance was a win in his first ever try in group company in the Group 3 ARC Trial at Newbury. Now, the race is known as the ARC Trial, but quite frankly, nobody has ever gone from this race to compete at any kind of level in the ARC. So it's a little bit of a misnomer, but it did send this one out to win in the Breeders' Cup Classic over the pacemaker Champ Pegasus, who held on grimly. Beckerbard completes the order of the top 3. He got a stalking trip. He was sitting in a perfect spot, but he was just not able to make up any more ground. The winner, Dangerous Midge, is a bay son of Lionheart from Adored Slough by Seattle Slough. Bred in Kentucky by Tony Holmes and Dr. Walter Zent, owned by Iraj Parvizi and trained by Brian Meehan, ridden to victory by Frankie Dettori. Dangerous Midge covers the 1.5 miles in 2:29.40. Next up, the $5 million Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Classic.
20 for 20, looking at Lucky's end. They're all set for the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. There's the roar from the Churchill Downs crowd as the field is sent on their way, and Zenyatta is dead last. Zenyatta was slow into stride. She's got to be 5-6 lengths last as Zenyatta. They come past the stands first time round now, and First Dude is going on to lead Espoir City. Quality Road is right there on the inside, and Hainesfield a close-up 5th. On the outside of that comes Etched. Here's looking at Lucky racing in the 6th spot, 7 off the leaders. The pace very solid early. Blame is taken back towards the rear. On the outside of that, we have Peasant Prince. In behind those two now, we drop back to Patio Prado, who's down at the rail. In tight was Fly Down. Musket Man is there. And Zenyatta is dead last. Mike Smith's asking her to pick it up a little, actually. Mike Smith doesn't want to be too far back. He's asking Zenyatta to pick it up. At this stage, Zenyatta's got to be a good 18-20 lengths off the leader. They go down the backstretch now in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and First Dude is the leader. Quality Road is ridden along at the rail. Hainesfield right there 3rd. Espoir City is 4th, and those 4 fly. It's a big gap of 7 back to Etched. Looking at Lucky is 10 lengths off the leaders. Blame down at the rail. In behind Blame now we have Musket Man, who's still far back with Patio Prado. In behind that we have Fly Down, and Zenyatta is dead last. Zenyatta is last. Mike Smith trying to find somewhere to run. They bunching up at the top of the lane now though. Hainesfield, Espoir City's running a huge one as well. Looking at Lucky. Here comes looking at Lucky. Etched is in there. Zenyatta now hooking to the grandstand side, and Zenyatta is now coming with her run. Looking at Lucky. Blame on the inside. Blame gets the lead. Zenyatta on the outside looking at Lucky. Blame. Zenyatta is flying. Blame trying to hold on. Blame and Zenyatta. Blame has won it ahead. Zenyatta ran her heart out but had to settle for 2nd. Fly Down was 3rd, and looking at Lucky finished 4th. Well, there we have it. Ahead will separate a historic race from Zenyatta. Tremendous run, far back early, had to wind her way through. Blame got the perfect trip though, and Garrett Gomez scores ahead on Blame. Zenyatta 2nd.
Blame scoring the victory in game fashion, and I think it's fair to say that Zenyatta probably earned more credibility and more respect for her 2nd place finish, her first career defeat in this race, than she ever did for her victories. so many of them coming in less than challenging circumstances. And I think it's fair to say she earned a little more respect from me here doing this than she did out in California last year when she actually won the Breeders' Cup Classic. So it was all in all a tremendous finish as Blame, who is obviously a solid horse for course here. He won the Foster, he won the Clark here last year at the age of 3 over some very good older horses, and has had a tremendous season. He is 9 for 13 lifetime and finishes up his career with a win in the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic, scoring and becoming the only horse, at least thus far, to score over Zenyatta. There were some whispers of the possibility of a continued career for Zenyatta. Quite frankly, I think that now that she has actually been defeated, that the streak doesn't exist anymore, that it would be nice to see them continue to race her, try something a little different, maybe run her on the turf, maybe try some different distances and so forth with her. And I think it would be interesting. And in fact, I think in some cases it's often better if a horse loses early in their career so you don't have something like an unbeaten streak to protect that might change the way you manage the horse's career. Rallying into third here, as is his usual pace, is Fly Down, and I was very impressed to see Fly Down actually come up with a lead change on in deep stretch, which indicates to me that perhaps he's maturing a little bit late in his 3-year-old season and might turn out to be a decent 4-year-old. The winner, Blame, a 4-year-old son of Arch from Liable by Seeking the Gold, was bred in Kentucky by Claiborne Farm and Adele Dill Schneider, owned by the breeders and trained by Al Stahl, and ridden to victory beautifully by Garrett Gomez. Blame covers the 1.25 miles at Churchill in 2:02.28. That'll wrap up a busy Horses and Courses Breeders' Cup edition. Thank you very much for joining us this week. We hope you'll be able to join us again next week as we take a look at stakes racing action from around the country. Until then, I'm Jean Wood. Have a great week at the races.